The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. It's Wednesday here in St. Louis, Missouri. Andrew's here. Noah's here. Well, Noah's in Arizona. Luigi is here. I just went to the dentist. Again, no, I went to the orthodontist.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just like doing all of my appointments lately.
Good.
Eye doctor, dentist, got a filling yesterday. Getting my Invisalign. Gyno. You know
Max.
it. Wait, they haven't even gotten back to me about my tests.
Oh.
That probably means I have it all, right?
Yeah.
They just don't know how to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just having in-company meetings about like, okay, how do we break this to her? She's very emotionally fragile right now.
Should we wait till her special comes out? Max is tracking it.
Max. Yeah, I forgot about Max. Oh, he'll enjoy that. He'll enjoy it a lot.
Okay,
good
that's
clean
who
filth. My
Max
special
is.
does come out. Yeah. What?
Because you guys dropped that as like a fashion egg the other day, and I was like, Max? But now I get it.
Yeah, I forgot about it too. That's a good pull, Andrew. Good mom.
What happened to your eye? Is that from the doctor?
No.
Oh.
It's from me trying to rip out a contact out of my eye last night. It was like not coming out, so I just like, sometimes you just gotta like grab your eye. Contact wearers out there know what I'm talking about, but I couldn't find where it was. And all I needed to do was put solution in my eyes and then rub the top, like you kind of pinch the top of your eyelid and you move it down. But instead, I just went in with like dry eye, just trying to grab it because I was just in a bad mood yesterday. And I've been in a bad mood my whole life recently, I think. Like it's just permeates my being recently. And I just was ripping it out and then I just looked in the eye, looked in the mirror, and it reminded me of Amy Schumer used to have a joke about when she tried to be bulimic once and she like blew a blood vessel in her eye because that happens when you throw up too much, your eyes pop. And she said, I just looked like an oracle. So I looked in the mirror today and I was like, hey,
Have an oracle.
predict the future. Thinner. Remember that woman in that movie, Stephen King movie? Thinner. And she like brushes her like old craggly witch hand over his face. She goes, thinner. And then this fat guy just starts losing weight. And then
It's funny when like
up.
when we're afraid of like an old scary or a young scary. It's like I could beat the shit out of an old lady or a young kid.
Not an oracle with like superpowers.
But did she? What was her super? What if she didn't get to her spell?
She made him start losing weight until he couldn't live anymore.
Oh,
so at first it was great.
Yeah.
It's like
Is that what happens in the movie for a little while?
He's
like,
almost he's getting a blowjob from his wife, and he's on the way home, and he's a fat guy that can't lose weight.
Yeah.
And he and that's the scene where Kirsten and I, as kids, used to like rewind it over and over because as he's getting head in the car, there's this sound that we thought was like a stretchy sound, like a rubber band going like, and we thought penises like had a stretchy sound then. So we would rewind it over and over on VHS, Blockbuster, and go back because we were like, we swore we heard it go.
He's probably
like it was
uncircumcised then.
Maybe. I mean, I think
Maybe
I played
it's
it
peeling it
on.
Wait, so what is the sound?
It was just a sound effect.
Oh.
That was maybe like a zipper or like a part of his
condom?
pants
No,
or
it's gonna be a
something. No.
condom 'cause of blowing.
So then she's it's his wife, I think, giving a blowjob, and then
Maybe she's making a sound effect.
he, maybe her mouth is stretching, and then he
Stretch
hits
her.
an old woman that's
Yeah.
crossing the road or almost hits her, and then he gets out of the car and he goes up to her, and then she like gets up and goes thinner, and she like curses him, and then he starts losing weight no matter what. He can eat and everything, and he's just losing weight, and he's like loving life, and I think he's like maybe like. I don't remember what happens in the film, but he's like loving life, and then it just won't stop, and then starts getting scary, and he realized he was cursed, and he has to like find the witch and stuff.
It's kind of like my Laugher for Hire movie. Remember I told you about the movie I wrote? But the guy kept getting fatter. It was the opposite.
Wait, what happens? Is there an oracle? Is there superpowers?
You would think there'd be some kind of crazy like what's really happening, but no, his buddy's just feeding him at nighttime. So in his sleep,
He eats sleeps.
yeah, and he just keeps getting fatter, but he doesn't know why because he's asleep.
How'd you come up with that? And is that a B plot?
Fatter.
Is that a B plot to the last?
Yeah, it's throughout the whole thing.
Did you, when you wrote this movie, were you like
Going
trying
through
to-
things?
No, were you?
I was in
Did
debt.
you know about A plots, B plots?
Yes, because I saw Sid Fields is. I got his DVD.
Oh, so you like tried to learn how to write one, really?
Yeah, and I wrote it in like 3 weeks, like 120 pages.
Was there a course to like teach you how to write one in 3 weeks, or was it just something you?
Oh no, it wasn't like 6-minute abs. It was just Sid Field's DVD, and it just you block everything, like in 3 acts, and this is how many scenes are in each act. And, dude, the second act, if you ever try to write a movie, I know you've written have you wrote a movie? I don't know.
No, I've never written a movie.
It's fucking impossible to fill those pages. Like it's really
Right.
you just start putting things in there. Like
Well, I've been watching a lot of I've been watching a lot of Albert Brooks movies recently.
he's the best.
I've never really seen his movies, so I got asked to participate in this thing about Albert Brooks. I don't want to give too much away, but sometimes you get asked to comment on got asked to be interviewed about George Carlin for the New York Times, and then I got asked about Albert Brooks. And when you get these asks, I go, well, I'm not a huge George Carlin fan. Obviously, I know about him, but my knowledge is not extensive. And then a lot of times other comedians would be like, and same with Albert Brooks. I know him from Curb. I know him as a voice in that Fish movie. I know him as, I know him from other things, but I don't know. I've never seen a single one of his movies. I think I saw the Defending Your Life when I was in first grade or something.
Or I'd have to see it again.
So I've watched. So anyway, I got asked to do this thing, and I think a lot of times comedians that if you don't know the subject matter, you should not do an interview about the person. But I take it as an opportunity to go, okay, well, so I'm not an Albert Brooks fan because I don't know, but it's just because maybe I would be. And maybe I actually am really good at speaking about things I love. So why don't I just immerse myself in it, take a crash course, watch everything, and I might have a better appreciation and more to say about Albert Brooks than someone who might have been like, oh, I grew up on his movies. I might have a different perspective. And I think that some people would go, you're just pretending to be a fan. And it's no, I'm being honest. I don't know his work at all. And so I asked, okay, you need me to speak on Albert Brooks. What's my time limit here? How much time do I have? Do I have to do this over a weekend? I'm probably not going to be able to talk educatedly about him or emotionally about him over a weekend. But I have until mid-July. And so I'm I can easily consume
you're gonna be tired of Albert Brooks.
Everything. And I will say after seeing Modern Romance, Defending Your Life, the Muse, and then last night I watched half of Lost in America. I am pretty fucking well versed, and I've watched a lot of Johnny Carson clips, and a lot, I mean 2, but it feels like a lot sometimes because it's just comedy was different back then. Movies were different. Watching an Albert Brooks,
more dialogue,
less happening, just things taking their time.
Yes,
him in a bathroom, in Modern Romance. If you watch that movie, and honestly, with all of his movies, there is. Aside from the Muse, I think that had more I don't know how to describe it, but there's just
what's the one with the
there's
road
a little bit of
they're gonna move
voyeurism
What's that?
Lost in America.
Yeah,
where they're driving across the country.
Yeah, I was watching them over COVID. I watched all those movies again.
Yeah.
I mean, look. There's plenty of albums. It's the first album you ever heard. You become a huge fan. Yeah. You don't need to know fucking every single Beatles fucking album.
Well, I think this is a better way to become a fan. I became a huge fan of George Carlin because I got asked to do that thing, and I was like, well, I'm not going to talk to the New York Times about George Carlin until I know what I'm talking about. But I think there is some merit in a person talking about an artist that just got into them, as opposed to you can't be in a documentary about so it's Gary Shandling if you. Yeah, unless you've been I've been watching him since I was a Larry Sanders Show fan when I was in 9th grade. It's okay, well, I'm one now, and actually I probably have a better memory of it than you do because you're not going to binge the whole series, because you go off of your memory from 9th grade, whereas I have a fresh perspective. So
you weren't an original fan. You didn't like Kings of Leon the first 2 albums. You just like After Sex on Fire. You fucking poser.
Yes.
And then they get mad at the actual band for putting out more material.
I hope more people ask me to be in their documentaries or
so you have to do homework.
Journalists. So I am forced to do these things that, listen, when I have an opportunity to go watch a movie, I don't want to watch a movie from the 80s as much as I want to watch the new movie that everyone's talking about. My time is best spent. My time is best spent as an entertainer, I think, and someone who does a podcast every day and who needs to have topical things to talk about, watching something topical, even if it's shittier, if it's 20% of Rotten Tomatoes, but everyone's talking about it. It's better for me to watch that Marvel movie than Modern Romance, which yes, everyone's seen, but that's not really. But now I realize it is better for me to watch those films, not for for the long run, because I'm really inspired by his approach to filmmaking and how simple it is and how he is the same character in every one of his movies. He's like this neurotic guy who, picks apart like the nuances of life, kind of in a Larry David sort of way.
I'm sure he watched a lot of Woody Allen. It's same kind of feel.
He seems. It's just. I just can't believe how much of nothing can happen in Modern Romance. Nothing happens.
I love that. I love those kind of movies.
I cannot believe.
They're my favorite.
People.
I love a nothing. And
he was supposed to, I learned this, Albert Brooks was supposed to be Billy Crystal's role in When Harry Met Sally.
Wow.
And that is my favorite movie, When Harry Met Sally. I'm not kidding you. I think it might have been better with him. He is so fantastic. He is so that character already. I just love him so much. It does strike me as terrifying how old people looked in the 80s for what age they were.
Yes.
He looks in his 50s and he's 32. It's wild what smoking and just the food they ate. I don't know why we all look so much better or younger.
Do you think when we get to like 80, we're going to look 60? Or do you think?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's going to be weird if a bunch of 100-year-olds still looking fucking hot.
They already do. Look so much. I just think.
You just saw Elvis. You weren't an Elvis fan. You just saw the Elvis movie.
I loved Elvis. I told my dad and mom last night, I wrote them and I go, hey, Elvis, I'd go see Elvis at go see it on IMAX if you can, but I think it's already out of those theaters because I searched it. It's like Top Gun is still at the IMAX. I'm like, Elvis came out sooner. Please, but it must not be making money as much as Top Gun still. But I think Top Gun like passed $1 billion or something like that. It's ridiculous. So Elvis, though, I went to go see it for a sneak preview that Chris got me tickets to through his radio gig, and I fucking loved it. It was top 5 favorite films. It was it reminded me. I haven't seen Gatsby, Moulin Rouge, or any of the other Baz Luhrmann films, but Romeo and Juliet is my favorite, and it freaked me out at first when I watched it in 8th grade. I was just like, what the hell? But he's so freaking good. I am on board with all of his decisions as a director and this movie is really long. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes. I tried to not get out of it, but I tried to I wrote Chris being like, this is long. 2 hours and 40 minutes running time. We have to be up at 5 a.m. the next day. Where this movie's at 7. It's not going to end till 10:30. Just too long for a movie. That's why I love Albert Brooks films. Every single one of them, 1 hour, 31 minutes. Every single one of them. Brilliant. We don't need more than that. But I'll tell you, Elvis did not look at my phone until the 2 hour and 5 minute mark to be like, oh, where are we at? And that is astonishing for me. I watch a 2-minute YouTube clip and I'm constantly checking how much more I have to go on it. I need to see the little tally.
Yeah.
I can't stand Instagram reels because they don't give you a toggle to go to the end. There's something so just.
I love a toggle.
I can't stand on TikTok when you can't search and scoot it ahead.
Some you can. If they're longer.
If it's longer than a minute.
Yeah.
But even a minute, I need to be
But
able
then you also miss it sometimes, and then you go too far, or you started this fucking video again.
Definitely
the toggle's
problems with
very
it.
tiny.
And by
I
the
want
way,
a bigger togs.
iPhone, iMessage, get your fucking shit together.
What are they doing wrong?
When you record a voice memo on iPhone, iMessage, talk about no toggling. I'm listening to a 3-minute message from a friend. If another text comes up, or God forbid, you get an alert on another screen and you accidentally tap
you gotta start from
you
the
got to
beginning?
start from the beginning.
That's no good.
And also, they don't have fast forward. They don't let you do 1.5 times the speed. You can't do 2 times the speed. You have to just wait and listen to your friend talk again, which I love to do. But WhatsApp is so superior. It's almost like I think they have money in WhatsApp because. Why would your thing be so bad that that would be the only thing to do? If they don't get it together, please someone explain to me why you think Apple wouldn't do this literally simplest thing. They can't afford to have this kind of.
But can you go to the source and say, hey, shorter message next time?
No, I mean, that's what I do with all my friends on iMessage.
Saying.
We all do, we send them in 1-minute chunks. You shouldn't have to do
Who
that.
did a 3-minuter?
Oh, I do 5-minute ones with my friends.
What
we
the
are doing
hell?
podcasts all day. I don't know. I know
But
it's
a
not normal
5-minute
for
that you
guys.
can't toggle?
Yeah, you can't toggle it.
I'm not sitting through 30 seconds of a no tog.
I know. It's terrible. This is how much I love my friends. But yeah, that's what I'm doing all day long is
It'd
like
be funny
voice messaging
if I was
with
your
friends.
friend and I leave you a 4-minute no tog, and then in the middle of it be like, I suck my own dick. I suck my own dick. I suck my own. And then
the
at the end,
problem
my
is
dog
I go
died.
through it. I go through the whole thing. I hate when I've left 20
and then
seconds
ask
without
you,
hearing.
I go, so what happened in the middle there? Did you?
No, I would listen. This is the problem. iMessages, I will listen to the whole thing.
Man, that's
Because I just feel like if someone gives you the effort of like writing a voice memo, I have to get through it. But iMessage, get your shit together. But Elvis, anyway, it was so moving, so good. My dad, I wrote to them last night and I go, it's on me. I'm going to take, if you guys want to go see Elvis, let's go anytime you want. And my dad wrote back, let me just see what he wrote.
We're doing a show in Memphis. We got to go to Graceland.
I've been to Graceland, but I would go again.
I'm going to Graceland.
Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. So here, this is what I said.
So how did Elvis not poop for a month and a half? Because I keep seeing things about this.
Opioids.
So he just didn't.
Yeah, and it just compacts in your system. I mean, food. When you take the moisture out of food,
Yeah.
I know you think like, oh my god, I just ate all of that. How could that possibly be in my stomach?
There's water in there?
It compacts. So no, when poop becomes, it's broken down by acid in your stomach, so it gets dissolved a little bit and it dehydrates. So when you eat a huge, like months and months of food, it's not like this spread that you put down in your stomach. It's got down, and that's why people. If you hear about opioid shits, they're like
what after they get off
bocce
them?
balls coming out of like just hard, like really. I'm trying to think of like a heavy ball,
A
but
bowling
like just
ball.
yeah, like a tinier bowling ball coming out of your ass.
Oh,
a bocce
croquet ball.
Yeah, croquette.
Is it croquette?
I think it's croquet. Okay, so I wrote to my dad and mom. I would go to see Elvis with you guys if you wanted. My dad says, too bad, we're at the river. Had to move the boat for the Brants. Whatever that means. He said, I read in the New York Times that it totally sucked. They said it was more like a vampire movie. And I said, it's one of my top 5 favorite films. No joke. And my mom wrote, oh, wow, then we'll have to see it. And then she goes, and then she asked me if I wanted to go to the baseball game tonight.
Oh.
And I was like, what? And my mom has organized all of my family to go to the baseball game tonight because of why. Here's what I said. I said, yeah, tomorrow might work. Can you just get me a ticket and Chris one too? If we can't go, I'll pay for them. And she goes, okay, Matt is buying ours. I'll ask him $5 ticket night, baby. So it's because there's a bargain. I knew there was something behind it. Why would my mom want us all to go to the ball game? It's because I got $5 tickets. We're saving a bundle. We gotta go, even though she doesn't realize like I could get us free tickets with the simplest email.
Yeah, but you know what? It makes her feel good.
To sit up in the nosebleeds for
just to buy
$5
'em,
ticket
just to
night.
buy $5.
She's not even buying it. I mean,
That is funny that Matt, that you find out not only is it $5.
Well, then Matt bought them and texted us that. And my mom goes, I'm paying you back. And he's like, don't get into a fight about this. Like, stop this. My mom is considering going to Mexico to save $2,000 on getting her tooth removed because in St. Louis it would be $5,000 and in Mexico it's $3,000. So she's going to Mexico.
You get those good margaritas by the beach.
And I said to
I
her,
just love your mom planning a vacation around a
no, she's not. It's not a vacation. They're going to somewhere that's not even fun. And my mom doesn't want to go, but my dad is like, Julie, she can do it. It's fine. Saves us $2,000.
Wait, how did she find this Mexican tooth guy?
Their friend went to someone. It's a common thing to go to Mexico for surgery. You don't know
No,
that?
I know you go to Turkey for hair transplants. I didn't hear about Mexico for teeth or teeth
Why
removal.
do you know about Turkey? Are you thinking about going?
I just like turkey.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Put you to sleep.
It does. Sometimes I got to go to bed.
Let's go to break and talk more about this when we get back.
Let's do our
Andrew!
Violets are blue.
No. This is...
It's all connected.
Yeah,
It
it's
could all be
connected.
connected.
Oh, whoa.
Could be.
Well, if you're paying attention, put it together, guys. What's it going to be? We know what you're doing. I'm not having
Thinner.
it. No.
You're thinner.
I mean, give it to me for a couple days.
Yeah, thinner for 3 weeks.
Yeah, thank you. All right, we'll be right back. Listen, I've heard that in Mexico you can get good stuff done, and it's state of the line, which is a phrase that my sister came up with in 6th grade. She was doing a fake commercial for her, like a book report, and it was about like they had to do like a TV show or something, when kids have an assignment, like read this book and make commercials about what, or I don't know. But she was selling dog sleds, and it was where she read White Fang in 6th grade, and her friend were like making this video presentation that they were going to show on Monday. And my sister was selling dog sleds, and she goes, "State of the line dog sleds, only $9.99." And we were like, "What's state of the line?" And we realized she combined state of the art and top of the line. State of the line dog sleds.
It could easily be a saying.
Yeah, it's great. So state of the line dentistry is to be had, and like it's not you're just going to Mexico and you're going in a yurt and they're just sawing off your fucking jaw with a
you're not
rusty
like
blade. It's a good thing to do. My point is, Mom, let me give you $2,000 because I'm not trying to brag.
I'll take it out for $400.
Okay, well, that's really nice of you. But
Give
you're
me
not
pliers,
a
a donkey, and a rope.
a burro
A burro?
down there.
Burrow down the line?
But I told her, I was like, can I just pay for this so you don't have to go to Mexico for surgery? I know that it would be, if they built a trip around it, fine. But my mom doesn't want to go. She's like, your dad thinks I should do it. I don't know. Do you think she would have to wait until January to go because they don't have time in their schedule? Otherwise, she could just go in St. Louis and have her rotting tooth taken out tomorrow.
Take it out
for an extra $2,000. But my dad's like, she can wait. And I'm just like, and the thing is, I don't care if she can have better, even if the procedure is the exact same as it would be in St. Louis. The stress that it puts on my mom to travel abroad, to go to Mexico, to then be in a different foreign country when her tooth has been, there's healing that needs to happen, that people around you need to take care of you. You need to be in a place where it's like you feel safe. Yes. And I know my mom's going to go on Priceline and get a fucking shitty hotel where, we won't even be able to find her. It won't have running water. Like, I just know so I'm saying to my mom, let me pay $2,000 because on the back, this will save me money because the trauma and the stress of that Mexico trip and also putting off this tooth thing that might cause an infection is going to cost me down the road more because you will die, you will be injured. I'm going to cover your medical bills when they get above $2,000 probably. So can I avoid some of those by not having you stressed out and go to Mexico for fucking dental work just so you can? It just makes me mad. And I said to her, this is why you should let me pay $2,000 because first of all, I won't remember it. I know that's a lot of money. To me right now, it is not a lot of money. I just, to be honest, it isn't. And I'm not bragging. It just isn't. And I said to her, this is what daughters are for. This is what having a rich daughter is for. Like, this is why I want to make money, is to do stuff like this. You have to let me. And she was like, and I go, I hope that if you had as much money as I had, and I have as much money as you had, and was going to go to Mexico to save $2,000 on a surgery, that you would do the same thing. No, you don't have to pay me back. Just give me $2,000. And the truth is, I don't think she would.
It'd be funny if she goes, 4,000.
Yeah, I would.
No, I know, but like, at what point would she take? Like, what if you offered to pay for the whole thing?
I would. But she knows that I want her to be able to pay for what she can afford so that she doesn't feel like it's a handout, because it's not. It's just.
It sucks. Why is that not covered? Does she not have dental insurance?
She does, but it doesn't cover the full thing or whatever.
That's a whole nother
I mean, you want to get into the healthcare of this. I mean, I had my filling yesterday, $35. I was like so excited. $38. Wow. I was like, whoa.
What did they fill it with?
It worked.
What's in
there? Candy.
Oh, you're trying to
a little popcorn.
You're trying to get more laughing gas. More. I love the idea of you as a kid. You were talking about it yesterday, eating candy to get to the drug.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
just get those. That's the only way I'm going to get it.
You're like 7,000 pounds, but you're like, never been happy yet.
Yeah.
No teeth, just rotting.
Just sucking on that nitrous.
Oh, I mean,
nitrous is what they suck out of balloons, right? When people do whippets.
Oh my God, have you ever done it?
No, but that's what it is.
You've never
right?
done nitrous?
No, because I always heard that you could die the first time you do it. No, so why would I do something?
That's not true.
That's
Unless
why I've never done it.
Right?
Oh, I've
also
done
afraid
it
of
plenty.
dying.
And look how smart I am. Huh? You're afraid of dying? Yeah.
But did you ever hear that you could die the first time? I mean, that's why I don't. That used to be a rumor about pot. The first time you do it,
cocaine,
you could die.
I heard that.
And now that's true because of fentanyl being, but that really cut me off drugs. Honestly, is that first time.
There was a basketball player. Starts with an L. Fuck, I can't remember it.
Larry Bird.
No, he's still alive, but I think he's probably done some coke with some Budweiser.
Sure.
So this guy did coke one. That's the thing, though. They always say first time, and he died.
Yeah.
And he was going to be like the best player ever. And so people talk about his story a lot.
Did he die from like overdosing on coke?
Yeah, overdosing on coke, heart attack.
He probably already had a
I had a buddy that died from heroin, and they claimed it was the first time. I was like,
You don't really do heroin the first. Like, you don't shoot up heroin. I don't know how he ingested it, but
I don't know. But yeah, it was so sad.
I was just kind of remembering Harris Whittles, who was my friend who passed from heroin, and like reading about, because he did a You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes episode right when he got out of rehab, like the third time, I think. And he said on that, like, if I do it again, I will die. Like, if I go back to heroin, I will definitely die.
Yeah.
And so I was wanting to find the transcript of it because I just wanted to like hear his story again and kind of remember it. And the thing that people just don't understand about heroin is that these people get prescribed these pills for pain, and then the pills, they become addicted to the pills, and they're not like, it's not because they wanted to be, they just get sucked into it. And then it becomes, even for Harris Whittles, who was a producer on Parks and Rec, an EP on Parks and Rec, a writer on Parks and Rec,
very successful,
writing movies, so successful, rich, it was draining him of money to keep up this pill habit. So then eventually,
like Oxy, right?
Yeah, like opioids.
Yeah.
And it was so expensive that, and it starts to be, you need more and more and more to get that feeling. And it's the same drug as heroin, like it's an opioid. And so shooting up becomes just a no-brainer. It's so much cheaper, easier to get probably in some circumstances. If you're living, he used to go to Skid Row to get it in LA. He'd drive over from his like $1 million home to Skid Row. And he died shooting up. But I think people just think of people that shoot up as like the dregs of society, but no one wants to put a needle in their arm. And it's because it becomes cost effective to do that. And it gives you a high faster. It's like, it was just really interesting to read again.
In that book, Coming Alive, that we're all kind of sort of reading.
Yeah.
The author
that I'm falling asleep to every night.
The author said something very interesting. He said, addiction is when you feel, is when a person chases this feeling that they got once, and they're just constantly chasing it, but never achieving it again.
Yes. I read that actually yesterday and something else, that addiction is it was chasing feeling good, but feeling worse. Chasing, right. That addiction is defined that you use a thing because you want to feel good, but it just makes you feel worse. And the thing is, you would go, well, then why would you keep doing that if it makes you feel worse? And it's like, because
you're constantly chasing that good
because there is a chance to do enough to get that feeling of there. And I want to say that I don't really relate to all of that, because for me, addictions, it does feel good. Like, you feel worse on the back end, but at first you do feel better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I do feel, if I shot up heroin right now, I would feel fucking great. I really would.
Yeah, but you haven't, that would be your first time.
No, but even people that I've watched Intervention the other night, and this woman that was shooting up heroin or smoking crack, every single time she'd be like, oh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah.
So it does feel good. I think people just think that it's all just like hell after you're addicted. People that don't understand addiction just don't seem to like grasp why someone is. I just don't understand how people can be mad at drug addicts or kind of confused by them. I know that you might not be a drug addict, but you look at someone on the sidewalk, like, how can they be passed out in their own filth? Dirty sandals. I always picture, dirty sand and just like passed out from crack or shooting up, needles in their arm. Why would you do that? Who would ever want to do that?
So
do you think that person had a
people.
choice? Like, if you really think someone has a choice of whether or not to do drugs, you're such an idiot.
So much of it starts.
And you have no compassion, because why would you ever, no one would choose that.
So much of it starts, and this happened with me. I remember I had like a root canal, right?
Yeah.
Or like nothing that should have got more than 5 pain pills.
Root canals
the lady,
don't even need
the
pain
dentist
pills.
Gave me 40 oxycodines.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I take like 2. Next thing you know, I'm going out. My tooth doesn't hurt anymore. I don't even know I have teeth.
No.
And next thing I know, I'm eating like 5 or 6, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just taking these. I'm not drinking. So I'm just taking, and the next thing you know, you're like, okay, I'll just take them during the day just to like kind of
manage it.
And you see how easily, and I think that's what happens. I think people get
You were too
prescribed.
lazy to become a drug addict.
Oh, yeah, I can't go back. What am I going to, maybe if I hurt another tooth. Oh, dude, if I had to drive 30 minutes. Actually,
Or, like,
I do it for
fill out a
golf.
form.
I do it for golf, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
I literally like spend thousands of dollars on gas to just get to a driving range to get upset.
To get upset, you don't feel how much. Maybe this is an addiction because do you feel what is the percentage you leave the golf course? Because we're not talking about being at the golf course because you're gonna have that dopamine. I was reading all about addiction last night. Dopamine is the feeling that you get before you get the opioid. So opioids go off in your brain when you have an orgasm, when you take the hit, when you eat a piece of pizza and you're really hungry. Dopamine is the chemical that is released on the way to that feeling. So there's no dopamine being released, and opioids always lead to a crash. A second the first bite of pizza is going to be the epitome of your enjoyment. It only ramps up to that with like, I'm so hungry. Oh my God, I just ordered it. So hungry. Oh my gosh, stuff's coming out of the kitchen. It's not mine yet. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I can smell it. Oh my gosh, it's coming to the table. Oh my God, it's landed on the table. Oh my God, first bite. And then from then on, second bite, third bite, down. Then the opioid hits, then the dopamine plummets after that.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering when you go to the golf course, driving there, it's exciting. Getting on the course, like all the the excitement of like what could be and the novelty of a new place or whatever. How often leaving a golf course do you feel great? Better than when you left? Better than when you arrived?
Well,
and be honest.
No. Of course, I'll be honest. There's a lot of variables. It's one thing if you're just.
Well, if we're going by sheer numbers
but
of all the times you've been to a course.
But there's a difference in if I go to a range, right, that I've never been to and everything's new.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying though, most of the time I'm going to a range, so I'm not going to feel if it's a new range. Anything new feels good. A new golf course,
but even an old one, you're going and you're excited.
But it
you wouldn't go back.
depreciates. The happiness depreciates because you keep playing the same hole, and you could play it even if you play it better. It doesn't feel as good.
Okay, so if we're going by just new courses, first time, all of those, the way you feel going in, how often are you leaving them feeling as good or better than when you came in?
I mean, again, it depends how I play.
I mean, but let's just say,
I know.
So how often do you play better than you would expect?
So when I shot the 76, I felt fucking fantastic.
But how often does that happen?
It was a new course, probably once every like 7 times I play.
Okay, that's
maybe one every 20. But I practice more than I play.
Right.
You understand?
Yes.
So if practice, the end. So when you first start practicing golf again, it feels good every time you go to the range because you're learning something new skill. You're hitting the ball an extra 20 yards. You're hitting it straighter. But now I'm at the point where literally I'm so consistent that it's don't
boring.
see a big wins.
Well, that's how I feel about stand-up.
But the big wins you see, though, when you fucking have the special and you fucking realize, all that work.
Still don't feel it. But
but I'm just saying, I'm trying to compare it.
Yes.
So like when I have
if I take my shirt off on stage and I do something new, that's when I feel. That's when I go, oh my God, that was amazing. Like, what the fuck just happened? And I leave the stage feeling the same way I felt after the first time I did stand-up.
Yeah.
Like, if I bring a new element to it or if I play music on stage instead of doing stand-up. But doing stand-up, I just cannot get that dope. It will never hit the way it did the first time ever again, and maybe that makes people not want to come see me. But what do you mean?
That's what I was referring to, like that feeling. Just like addicts constantly chase it, and it leads to overdosing and all that stuff. That's what
you're chasing the drag. You're chasing that initial feeling that was like, oh my God.
But did it feel good to do like the Drake stuff the other night or like shit?
Yes, doing new stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's fun. And that gives me a thrill.
All right, so then look at those positives. Like,
no, I'm not saying it's a negative thing. I think that anything, like the thing about the first day on a new job or when you get a job, like people forget sometimes. I
got addicted to gambling because I won $2,200 the first time I played.
Yes.
And then I went and bought a PlayStation. I bought a couch, and I'm like, fuck, this is going to keep happening.
But think of how many times you've gotten a call for like a gig or a job, or you get a job that you interview for and you work, or you get accepted to some kind of program in school, and you celebrate with your family literally like will take you out to dinner to celebrate, and then the job
starts.
And it's the source of all of your misery. I mean, this thing that you wanted so much.
I remember I sat down with my dad one time and he's like, It wasn't about stand-up. It was about like copywriting. He's like, any job's gonna just feel like a job eventually. And I was like, well, that's sad though.
Yeah,
that's fucking sad.
And but it's true.
I know, but it's sad.
But that's life. I mean, anyone you date that you're so excited about, you're never gonna have that initial like limerence, which is what it's called, when you are just like so in love with each other and just like everything you do is adorable. You will never get that back ever with that person. And you can tell me, oh no, we did. Well, maybe did you have amnesia, or did the person have you might get it back if there was like a near death thing and you have like, or you break up and you reunite, but you will never have that initial thing again. And that is what I struggle with in relationships, is that you will never have that first high, which is literally the best part of falling in love. And I know people go, no, it's the deep love, that the support you get.
But if people are saying that, they probably do feel it.
I get it, but I don't know what that is. Yet.
But that's what you don't. But it is a thing. Like, that is real.
I think it's an excuse people give for like giving up something that they actually do want. But maybe I'm wrong. All right, let's get to the news.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
I really do love that music.
It's the same thing as when people go,
Hope everyone all this swells. It's Wednesday. Fuck, you know what that means? Wednesday. What's that?
I'm sorry. And maybe I'm wrong here, but when women age and they go, I actually like being older more. It's like, do you? If you could snap your fingers, would you not want to have tighter, younger skin? Of course you would. Or maybe not. Maybe you like the freedom of being invisible to the world now. But I just think that we convince ourselves we like our situation, which is good. We should, because you can't go back in time. You can't get that limerence back. So you have to accept it. But I think that.
But how happy were you when your body was tight? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's always that.
I understand that, but I'm just saying when people go, it actually, my life is. I'm glad that happened. Like, I'm glad, and I'm someone who always says like everything happens for a reason. But some people go, you know what, that car accident, I really needed to wake up. And it's like, wouldn't another way have been cool too? Did you really love that?
But I feel like
I have a great
go ahead,
like news story for you.
Please.
Which kind of has to do with this, which is very funny. But yesterday, Anya texted us about. Oh no, you had texted Anya and I about oxytocin.
Yes.
And then I went and I started like Googling and stuff, and I found this article that I think you're gonna love. Okay. It's a little bit old news, but it's new to me.
As long as it's real news and not fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's based on a real study. So while studying cheating, scientists are surprised to discover how oxytocin appears to boost men's attraction to their mate, even when presented with pictures of other women.
Okay, so explain this.
So you want to hear a little bit about what they were doing in the study, or just get to the results?
What I'm gleaning from this is that they took men who were in relationships, and when they tested men with higher levels of oxytocin, when asked about how much they love the person they're with, that love was substantially more when shown pictures of other women even. And it's not about other women, like other women's pictures make them love their woman more?
Okay, under the influence of oxytocin, 2 areas of the brain responsible for feelings of reward and pleasure lit up when men saw their partners' faces, but the sight of other women had the opposite effect, suppressing feelings of pleasure.
Oh, interesting.
Well, do you choose to suppress it, or is that conscious, or is that...
No, is oxytocin responsible for deep love, connected, monogamous love?
As time goes on and couples become less intimate, the scientists, said that linkage can decay because of that, but activities that release oxytocin, such as really looking into another person's eyes, holding hands, kissing, and having sex, may help restore the connection.
Yeah, so it sounds like oxytocin is released when you do loving, safe, intimate things. And so when you have a lot of oxytocin going off in your brain that comes from those things, that you will feel more connected and more desirable of your partner no matter how long you've been with them. So what it tells us is that we need to like keep those things up, of like deep eye contact, like cuddling, touching, all those things to prevent us from being attracted to other people. Because if the oxytocin is high from those things, you won't be attracted to other people.
But it doesn't have to be only in that moment.
Right, like it sustains you. So oxytocin has like a
I mean, I'm sure you've done this with Chris or whatever, where I'll go maybe a few weeks without. You do take your partner for granted for like how gorgeous they are, or like how much they make you feel happy. Like you don't take it in. Like a lot of times I don't take it in. Then at times I'll just stop and like really like be like, this is my person. And those are like loving, deep love wins because I could go a couple weeks with my ADD brain and not really like take her in. You know what I mean? So like you're almost recreating that feeling in your brain of like the first time seeing them. I don't know. It's a weird little win. I feel. I
feel that.
Does that make sense? Like
yes, yeah. I think everyone relates to that, but I think that it's distance. It's like you're not touching them enough. You're not like stopping to actually look at them. Like all you need to do is figure out time to just stop and look. Whereas like I can't do that because I'm on the road for fucking 14 days and I can't look at the person. I can't touch the person. And so I always find my relationship hits like really rocky territory whenever I've been gone too long because there's not hand holding, there's not touching, there's not eye contact, there's not all those things. And it's like,
but that
like
first
poison.
night, is there a feeling
of
like...
No, because we're usually broken by the end of it. And so when we see each other, it's, in the waiting room of our couples counselor and it's like awkward because at the end of a long trip, like it's gone from being like, oh, I miss you so much. Very good. And at the end of 14-day trip, you're coming out of it and there's some conflict that hasn't been appropriately addressed on both sides. And then it's frayed because you can't even picture the person. You can't smell the person. So it's just like, I don't even care about working it out with this person because I'm not connected to them in any way. They're literally a stranger to me because their body chemistry is so. The other night I like had Chris's shirt and I was just smelling it because I haven't seen him forever. So I was just trying to get those oxytocin chemicals so that my brain would remember, I love this person. I'm connected to this person. Like, I will do anything to work out at a difference with this person. And I think that's when like little arguments can just turn into like, well, then we shouldn't be together because you forget how bonded you are because you don't have that.
I wonder if it's good. Or not good or bad, but to go from like 14 days off and then the first time is couples counts. Like it seems like another, not extreme, but like.
It's not like we planned it that way. It's like we don't have time in our lives to fit in couples counseling except the 1 hour when we're both not working. I mean, you try to be with someone who has work hours from 4:30 a.m. until 11 a.m. and then you have to work from 11 a.m. until 6 p.m. So and then that person has to go to bed because they have to get up at 4. So it's hard. It's really hard. I think that, but it's so true that it's touch, eye contact, and love making that make you have those. That's that feeling in your brain, that fuzzy feeling that makes you go like, I love them, and just emotionally sharing, even like someone being like, I don't know. Whenever I hear my partner be like, like I love you, or like it really feels good to hear that, like talking about his feelings. I am like, any issue I have with our relationship literally evaporates. Yeah. Like it can be, I can be like in a swarm of mosquitoes of like things I'm annoyed at, and they will all be completely zapped and fall to the floor dead. The second he goes, I'm feeling really, I feel really good about what we've talked about, or like just says some feelings. I don't know why it's so erotic to me, or it's so soothing to me. It's so like reassuring to me. It just makes me feel.
But is like
I could put up with anything?
But I know that's. I mean, that's the double-edged sword, though. Is like,
is it a drug? Is it just an intoxicant? Am I just like la 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 la? Like, am I googly heart
like? Should
eyes?
You not at least have half the mosquitoes still around?
Right. No, they go, for me, it's all the mosquitoes or
none of mosquitoes.
I am so black and white. It sucks.
Yeah, that's tough because it's so polarizing.
Maybe it's like a sense of approval that whatever it was that you discussed or worked on was the right way to go, and then like he's definitely on the same page as you.
Yeah, I think it's like an understanding,
that, like, sense of approval,
or just like I just want someone to, when I feel like my feelings have been addressed and like that I'm not crazy for my feelings, and that I get him to a place of understanding that I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be evasive, I'm not trying to lie. I'm just like, I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling scared, or like if he knows the root of it, which isn't this nefarious root, because I think a lot of times in relationships, not just mine, you get into fights where someone thinks the other person is like trying to dodge or like avoid or like trick the other person or deceive for my own well-being, when really anytime I am ever being a little bit obtuse or like a little bit avoidant, it's because I'm doing it for not just for me. I mean, it is for me, but it's because I want that person to love me. I'm trying to avoid that person hating me. And it's like, you know, it's kind of like Patrice O'Neal's bit of like, we cheat for you.
Yeah.
We cheat for you. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, I get to lie and be deceitful because I'm trying to keep you. But I do feel like there's sometimes in my relationship or even in hearing my friends' relationships where I'm like, the thing he's getting mad at you about or the thing you're mad at him about, don't you realize he's only doing that because he wants to stay with you?
Yeah.
Like, he's trying.
Yes.
Does that make any sense to you guys?
Yeah,
Like, they're doing that thing not
Yes.
to hurt you. They're doing it so
They're
that
your
you
partners.
love them.
I
Like,
guess my only worry is
I'm
try
not
to
telling
sabotage.
you the truth about this thing because I think that if you find out, you'll hate me forever and not want to be with me. When I know the thing that I might be lying about or evading the truth about isn't really a deal breaker and shouldn't be a reason you hate me. If I'm cheating on you, yeah, I feel like you should probably find that out and leave me. But if I'm not telling you something that I think you'll just be so disgusted by or so just like kind of grossed out by, and maybe I'm grossed out about it by myself too, I'm doing it because I don't think it's something that you need to know about. And your response, I don't trust your response because I don't trust, obviously. And I might have feelings that I'm inherently unlovable. And I think that detail might bring out your disgust with me in a way that you'll reject me. But I'm doing it because I want you to love me. And like, so if you're worried that I'm trying to get away from you or like do or hurt you, it's actually the opposite.
my only concern would be if I was doing something to get someone else to love me, right? But it wasn't being true to whatever I thought I was. Then I feel like over time I'm hurting myself. It has nothing to even do with that
I agree.
person.
Well, that's without saying.
Yeah.
I feel like I mean, obviously.
You can't get someone to love you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying, I'm not talking about excuse the person who's lying to you or evading things and let them do that. Just start from a place of course they shouldn't be doing this. Let's get to a place where we can totally be honest with one another and transparent and no one gets hurt. But acknowledge that the root of this is this person being scared that you'll leave them and that they'll lose you. And if you can, it's not good that they're doing it. Yes, we need to we need to stop doing this. I don't want to be someone who has to like, you know, avoid certain truths about myself. But if I do it and I get caught, know that I'm trying in my own way to figure out a way to do it. So I'm just trying to keep you. It's my weakest self giving into my fears of abandonment. So yes, it is not a good thing to do. I don't want to be someone who is pretending to be a different version of someone so that I can keep a guy. I would love to be myself. Like, that's my goal in every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
For me in relationships, it's really, really difficult because I think I'm gross. I'm too masculine. I have really weird anxieties that make people, their lives feel burdened by them. I have my whole life, like everything I'm scared of or everything that I'm like anxious about takes the fun out of things okay, so everyone can't go on a roller coaster because Nikki doesn't want to go on it. Okay, well, I guess we can't go to that thing because Nikki's scared of fireworks. Oh, we can't do that because Nikki's scared of the highway. Now we all have to like tend to her needs and it's so annoying. It's never met with like, what's going on here? I'm so sorry you're feeling this way or that you have to act this irrational way because you're in pain. It's never that. It's like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to ruin our time? Why are you lying to me? It's never, why are you doing this? Like, can I understand? Like, are you in pain? What are you avoiding? Like, do you not think I won't love you on the other side of this? Because I do love you. I want to make you feel safe. It's always just like, why'd you do that? You're a bad person. You're an anxious person. You need to make everything about you. Oh, Nikki's scared of air shows, so the whole family can't go to air shows. How about I'm scared of air shows, so maybe tell me some facts about air shows to make my irrational fears a little better. Why don't we go through the facts about, that's like the bus incident yesterday, this weekend. I was so scared of riding in those fucking buses, and I was going to cancel it. And then Kirsten goes, why don't you have Jen, my assistant, ask about the schedule of the buses and like, the protocol for the bus drivers. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, you can do that? And it was like, information sets me free, or like compassion, or someone just being like, oh, I have irrational fears about this other thing. Let's talk about it, as opposed to Nikki's weird. Because not only do I feel weird, but I think I grew up as a child just feeling like all of my fears, people thought I was trying to get attention, which maybe I was subconsciously. I didn't think I was, or that I was trying to be the center of attention, which let me tell you, maybe that's a little bit of my goal now because I'm a comedian and trying to, a famous person. So obviously that's a goal. When I was a kid, I did not want, I hated that I wet the bed and that I was scared of IMAX movies and I was scared of movies and like I was scared of ghosts. I had to sleep on my parents. Those are all embarrassing. I wasn't like, I can't wait to be like, I'm not one of these girls that's like, I hate the word moist. That's my personality. I wish I wasn't like anxious and scared. I hate these things about myself. So I think I still struggle with when I have anxieties.
I think sometimes
or do things
when you have anxieties.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think how to phrase like you put on a front that like I don't give a fuck when you might give all the fucks. And I think like as a friend of yours, like sometimes I don't really know that it's coming from a place of fear or like why you're acting a certain way. So like I don't really because it doesn't feel vulnerable. Like for like I don't know. There could be I can't think of an example right now, but like just like a little thing where like instead of like you being like, well, I'm actually just afraid of it. It's more like. It comes off stronger, so like I don't know exactly. Sometimes,
but that's what
like,
I'm saying. That's
friend.
exactly what I'm saying. Is like when I do react in a way that like maybe I lash out at someone or something, and that's inexcusable. I definitely deserve to give an apology to whoever I'm doing that to, but when people lash out or when people scream or like even hit someone. You have to understand that is coming from a place of intense fear, and you like. I even sometimes picture Hitler
but that's
as a
why
baby.
it's hard to have compassion or to have empathy. But you need
to try. Everyone needs to try.
I
to
know,
know
but then that person needs to try to like.
That's what I do. Try to do it. I apologize afterwards. I go to therapy. I meditate. I read books. Like that's the thing when people go, "Well, Nikki, this just gives you an excuse to just be a bitch all the time because you had fears as a child and you weren't cared for enough as a child. That just gives you an excuse to be a terrible adult, a drug addict, anything you want because you go, my childhood, I didn't get enough love. I have anxieties. It's not an excuse. All I'm asking for, and if I'm able to even acknowledge that means I'm doing work that I'm trying and I can't fix it overnight. And I'm not asking for everyone to forgive me whenever I transgress or whenever I lash out in a way that, I don't have a plan. I'm trying my best. It's just, and even if I'm not trying my best, there's also probably a reason for that. Like not everyone can go to therapy. Not everyone can meditate. Like there are things that people can't do. I wish I need to do it myself. I want everyone to have more compassion for everyone. Even before when I said you were an idiot, that you don't understand addicts. If you're someone who doesn't understand addicts and has no compassion for them, I actually don't think you're an idiot. I feel sorry for you, but I understand that you were raised and you have a brain that's different that doesn't maybe have as much empathy as another person, which is something you can learn because I had to learn empathy. So I have empathy even for you. So you can extend it to anyone. I just wish I would get it a little bit more often in my life because I think that I'm just like realizing it. At my core, I feel like I'm a bad person. I feel like I'm self-serving. I feel like I'm a narcissist. I feel like everyone thinks like, oh, Nikki just makes up things so she can get attention and because she's being a widow baby. And the truth is, even if I am doing that, which I truly do not think I am on any level, that's a sad thing to do. And someone should feel sorry for me that I do that. Like when girls are like, I hate moist, don't say it. That girl I know it's annoying, but she just wants attention. This poor girl. How sad is it that that's how someone is going about getting love? That they don't like the word moist. Like even that is sad.
Yeah,
we got to go to break. And we're back. We're back. It's time for Wednesday's wild card segment. It is time for
Andrew's Succinct Short Story Circle segment.
When I really can bring it together when I want,
It was how many takes did that take? I think that was 2.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yeah,
it was quick.
When I turned that fucking.
It's funny because the thing we wanted you to do, which was like have a lisp and kind of slur it, that's usually the thing that would make you do another take. So it makes sense that it only took you. We asked you to fuck it up.
Oh, I didn't have to get method for that. It's already there on the surface.
Okay, so what's today's story and why?
Well, we were talking yesterday. I think we never got to the dentist thing that I was
you said that
talking
you you were like, oh, I have a dentist story. And you said we don't have time. And then Noah was like, oh, tomorrow let's do this story.
Well, when you're poor in New York and you're picking up dog shit for a living and you have no dental insurance and you have a tooth problem and you can't get to Mexico.
You can't find a
You
borough.
can't even find Little Mexico in New York. You can't even get there.
Where would that be?
South. So I was fucked. I was like, I went to a dentist. They're like, I had a root canal that the root, whatever, came out. Like, so there was a hole in my teeth that came out.
Oh my God.
So you could get.
So like the cap came off?
The cap came off.
An old root canal.
Do you know that that the cap is just covering a giant hole? So the hole, you could then get to the nerve. So then everything
No, the nerve's gone on a root canal, buddy.
Okay, so maybe this was.
But it could cause an infection of just like food packing up in there.
I'm trying to think what exactly.
Because a root canal, I do believe, takes out the.
It does, but for some
root
reason
and
I
the
was having a
canal.
ton of pain. Maybe it was another
yeah,
nerve.
sure.
However, I was in a shit ton of pain. It was like
Were you doing Oragel?
$1,000.
Like numbing?
Dude.
Oragel, thank God for Ambisol and Oragel. Can I just say?
I
As
know,
someone with
but
tooth
it
pain
wasn't
who had
even-
braces
yes.
and who also I know
When
it
it
probably
wears
did it.
off.
Oh, it's good for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like juicy fruit.
Dude, I put so much of that in my. But then
Oh,
I
I
would
used to
get.
drink
You know what
it.
I would do that was really disgusting?
Wait, I could probably guess. Can you give me some clues?
Well, let's say I had a hole in my mouth.
Stuff it with gum,
Okay, let's say it was stuffed with food. What would
Okay.
I use to take that food out?
a key,
Oh,
A straw.
oh, I wish a straw.
a toothpick, a
A toothpick? That's a normal thing. What do you think Andrew did?
piece. Oh, just a laminate,
He
like
rolled
some kind
up
of like.
a dollar bill and would.
No.
People probably just ran off the road.
No, it's okay.
And I
listen,
didn't think. I didn't
it's
think
okay.
about how dirty.
Of course,
Because your brain, you're just
you were
like, I wanted
30.
to.
Why would you? No,
Have some
dude,
compassion.
I've done disgusting stuff. I will not. I will.
No,
I will.
It's bad. It's bad.
really
But
bad.
you
But
always have $1 on
here's-
you. This
here's
is
the thing.
before Venmo.
No, and that would be weird if you got it out with your
With my phone,
Venmo app.
my razor.
You can scoff all you want at Andrew's struggle here, but when you're depressed and like you do not care about self-care,
No.
and especially when you have a tooth pain, that pain is so gnawing that you don't even have the wherewithal to be like, this could be dirty. You just want it out.
And I
Okay.
was 32. So
Okay, 5 minutes.
I was
Let's
1
go.
year for each tooth minus 7. So I went. So my cousin Neil, he's a dentist. Oh my God. Well, I'll tell you after the show. But so he's a dentist, but he's not like a surgeon. Like I needed an oral surgeon for this.
Yeah.
He's like, I could do it for like $100. $100. So I go to my cousin Neil's and I'm like, okay, well, I'm sure I'll have some of the materials. So I'm like, dude, this motherfucker took my tooth. He had to take out. So there's still part of your tooth in there, but that's a molar. Like that's like, you can't like just get it. This motherfucker,
Oh.
I can't even explain to you. He numbs it up.
So he gives you the local.
He
like,
does
shot.
give me,
Yeah.
he's like, take a little Oragel. It's like, that's all you got. He's like, bite on this spoon, essentially. And he's fucking using, I don't even know what instrument it is. Just like, like a fucking,
Just
just
a
a
$5
wrench.
bill?
Yeah.
A 20. He's a dentist.
And he's using like a wrench, like an old school, like a thing to get horseshoes off. And he's just like, fucking, like, I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, yeah, he's putting some
45 minutes
grit into it.
He's sweating, and I'm in like his office, which
It's
feels
like
like
Little Shop
an
of Horrors,
attic.
Steve
Yeah,
Martin.
yeah. So he's like, feed me, Seymour, and he's fucking grinding, just like I'm telling you, like that
Are
hard.
you laughing?
Over
Are you
my
crying?
face. No, I'm
Can
like,
you feel any of
I
it?
can
Or is it just
feel
pressure?
the fucking
Yeah.
pressure, and but I'm telling you,
But is he playing? You're a crazy bitch, but you fuck
yeah,
so good.
yeah. So I'm
on top."
rock hard. It's pretty cool. And so, fucking, I was like, I got another
Hammed.
fucking canal you can take over stuff. And so, anyway, so he's fucking grinding, and he finally like. I'm telling you.
I picture in this attic, the dentist also has soft rock playing. Like,
Oh, I wish.
It's Michael, the Michael McDonald. Da, 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 da,
He's
da,
like, so
da."
how's your mother? She's doing all right. I'm like, dude, just get my fucking
There's
tooth out.
He puts a TV on in the corner just with some soap opera.
He's like,
playing.
let me show you some old photos of your dad.
Rosie O'Donnell show is playing. That's always what was playing. Okay, go on.
We used to play baseball
So he takes
in Flushing at that park. And yeah, and so he finally gets it out, and it was insane. I left there feeling like I was abused for an hour, like waterboarded, but some kind of
Yeah.
And I left there, and I was like, this is why poverty. It really hit me. If you don't have money, that's the surface. And I love him, and he's a good dentist. You should go to him as a dentist, as an oral surgeon.
Right.
Having to do this, which is outside,
How do you know this guy?
He's my cousin.
Oh, it's your cousin. God, it sounds like a scene from The Nick.
Yeah, that's.
Sounds terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
Can you imagine they used to do surgeries with no anesthesia?
I mean-
a childbirth even with no, just.
In every movie, it's here's a sip of whiskey, you bite on this fucking belt or spoon,
Yeah.
and we're going to cut your leg off.
Yep.
And everyone's like, "Argh!"
My mom always brags that she didn't have. This is a joke from my act from a while ago, but my mom. It's true. My mom had
Can I guess
natural
the punchline?
childbirths.
Can I
Yeah.
guess the punchline?
My mom said that when my mom always likes to brag that when she gave birth to me and my sister that she didn't use any drugs. What's the punchline?
She drank alcohol.
No drugs. Didn't take any drugs. Also,
Didn't
I'm
need
not your
anything?
mother.
No, but during my conception, I needed drugs. Needed all of them. When I was conceived, she was fucked up. She had a spinal tap. Final thought. I wanted to say, it reminded me when you're saying that, when they were giving me the Novocaine yesterday to shoot into my, when they go, it's going to be a little pinch, when they shoot it all in there to numb it up. He gave me he did a vibrator. He was like, and I'm going to use this vibrator. He said vibrator, which I was just like, that word, you just don't
Yeah, it's
hear
a strong.
it outside of
Yeah.
sex toys.
It's like a rock hard cock.
But it is good because they used to do that at my for pain. If you distract the body by
It's like what you do with your fucking when you have migraines.
yes, it's distracting the pain. Like when I used to get Brazilian waxes, I used to go to this Indian threading place. It was a wax for your pussy, but threading for your eyebrows. And in the back room, they did waxes. And this sweet woman used to when she would rip it off and then she would just go like this on my thigh,
Mr.
really hard,
Miyagi
just
style.
rub it. Yeah, she would
Miyagi.
wipe on, wipe off.
Yeah.
Just really fast. And it was just it would feel so nurturing and nice that there was some other feeling happening.
So did he vibrate while he was shooting it?
Yes, while he was shooting
Did
it, so it would
help
distract
you
it.
Distract?
He was, you let me know if it helps. And I was like, I can't really tell because I didn't have it without it. But yeah, I mean, it's just the more stuff going on, the less you're going to focus on. That's why they put on music to drown out the...
When you have a vibrator when you're having sex, do you feel the penis less?
Yes.
Interesting.
Because it would be more stimulation, so you have...
But it all together feels fantastic.
Yeah, so if you're doing...
You know what I mean,
It's
though?
a pie chart and you're only having your clit rubbed.
Yes.
The whole thing's going to be clit. And maybe a little bit will be whatever noises you're hearing. Another thing will be the pressure of his body on you.
Mm-hmm.
But then you add another stimulus, it's going to take up more of the pie chart.
But you're not going to feel that part of the pie as much if it was the whole pie.
Yes. The whole pie would be all of the feels.
Yeah.
And then... and then there was another thing you said that reminded me of something else. Fuck. I forgot.
Vibrator, teeth, Novocaine.
Novocaine. Just opioids. We were talking. It was interesting for me to learn the difference between dopamine and then opioids, and having dopamine is
Everything up to it.
Yeah, is the pleasure leading up to it, which I've always
But
thought
don't you
about
get
that.
dopamine when you get a notification? They always say that's a shot of dopamine.
That's opioid.
Oh, so they're using it wrong.
Yeah, or it would be it could be I mean, I'm sure it's a mixture of both, but it's two different chemicals, and the dopamine is really the anticipation, the what the excitement when you're feeling excited about something, and then the dopamine, and then the opioid is the rush of relief.
Mm-hmm.
That anticipation is finally, and then after that dopamine.
So the dopamine is when you're about to post something and you're getting your post ready. And the opioid is
the
that
first
first,
hit
second,
of
third.
36 likes
Yeah.
within a second.
and
And
then
you're
it
like, okay,
dies.
this is gonna be
And
good.
yeah, and then it dies.
But it's
Psychology and Instagram terms.
oh my god, I mean it's so that one book that I read at the beginning of the pandemic that was called it was like about addiction. Joe Rogan had posted on his thing, and I just downloaded it immediately. But it was about phone addiction and technology addiction. And boy, do they have it. I mean, we already know this from watching that one documentary on Netflix that
She's
they
All
did.
That.
Yeah, the documentary. The Albert Brooks documentary, He's All That, on Netflix. No, it's the social dilemma. Thank you.
Yeah.
About how these people, they've hired people who work in casinos to figure out that, like, that's why Candy Crush is addictive, because when the way the star lights up, the way the sound, the way the star will go,
it's a fucking whatchamacallit. It's a slot machine.
And that's why Wordle was so cool, because he did not want to make it addictive.
Shit, I haven't heard Wordle.
Well, that's why, because people have a normal relationship with it. And Candy Crush is all about money. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm really disgusted by consumerism and capitalism at this point in my life. I just think everything is about how much money you can make. Like, Wendy Williams, I just saw this headline. Her show got canceled because she wasn't showing up.
She's going into podcasting.
And now she's getting a show at Sirius. And her line, which maybe she said more stuff, so I don't want to, take it totally out of context, but I think she's someone who represents just do whatever you can to get more money. Say whatever you want to get more money. If, bad press is good press, doesn't matter who you hurt, what you say. She's not someone who really thinks before she talks. I definitely have that in my system too. But she said, her response was, which is such a Trumpian, like, just don't worry. Anything that's rejected me, anything that's failed, it's good. I didn't even want it anyway. Or it was a lie. Like any,
Instead
you can
of
never
taking any of the onus.
No defeat. There's never, you've never made a mistake in your life. Literally, can anyone give me an example? I would love one of Donald Trump admitting that at somewhere he has made a mistake, that he has been fallible, even in the slightest, ever. If you would send me an example, I would really love it, and it would give me some compassion for him. But Wendy Williams said, going to Sirius. Actually, this is a pretty good Wendy Williams, and I don't know her. I'm going to Sirius, and I just want to say that
that is
I am making more money than I would ever make doing that TV show. So it's good. Like, it was just about money. It's like, what happened to, I don't know, I liked having a TV show. All the people that worked on it with me, I'm sad to see it go. Man, this sucks.
From what I read about this story, because I was thinking about doing it for news for Why Do I Care, she did say that podcasting is more simpler than TV, and she was like over.
I like that
whole production.
But I just hate this thing of like, it doesn't matter, I'm going to make more money there anyway. Like, since when?
Well,
so then why don't you just marry the richest guy and not even care about love or whatever? Like, why isn't everything just motivated by, I'm making more money, so it doesn't even matter. I can just, my whole family died in that house fire, but you know what? They cost money, so I'm going to make more money now in the future.
Yeah,
like,
my next house is going to be actually.
That's how people
That's
think.
how much insurance money I got.
Yeah. Okay, I have to
all
go
my kids died.
Jump on a psychiatrist call.
But it just reminds me of clicks. And there was this person that went against Dave Portnoy from Barstool, and she actually had some really valid points, but really went after like the strong headline. And when he interviewed her, she was just honest. She goes, "Look, I just knew it would get a lot of clicks," and he had no defense because she was just so honest. Like, this is it. This is the world we live in. But that's the problem. That everything is about clicks, and then you get treated better the more clicks you get. It's not about how good the substance is.
No, and that's what all people care about, because clicks equal money. But like,
power.
Search is paying attention to the decisions people make, what they do. I just want to say one last thing, because I have time to do it, Noah. Last night I came across, I was watching Albert Brooks' movie, and I was on my computer, and I saw Daily Mail, like, buried deep down, which is I barely read the Daily Mail because it's so right wing leaning that it grosses me out. But they do have the best paparazzi shots and stuff. But there was this article that said, and I sent it to him. Let me just share this picture. Hold on, I just want to talk about this really quickly.
Final thought.
So yeah, double final thought.
Finalist thought.
I sent him a thing. It said, Whopper of a donation. David Spade gives $5,000 to underappreciated Burger King employee who has never missed a day's work but was rewarded with a measly candy goodie bag on his 27th year anniversary. David Spade surprised a hardworking Burger King employee with $5,000. Spade sent Ford a sweet direct message via Instagram that read, "Keep up the good work, 27 years." In response, according to a screenshot of their exchange obtained by TMZ, He replied, "Holy shit, dude," 3 shocked face emojis. The fast food worker also expressed he couldn't believe Spade's kindness and was looking forward to using some of his paid time off. Ford went viral earlier this week. So he posted this video about like, I've worked for Burger King for 27 years. I've never missed a day, and this is what I get for like my anniversary, like this goodie bag. And so Spade saw this, and not to get any press, like I know that you might roll your eyes at that, not you, but like the listener. And so I wrote to him and I go, this was really fucking cool because it was buried. It wasn't like, this wasn't top headline news.
Wait,
no,
I'm sorry,
you probably saw
I'm
it.
sorry, but how did it
I have
leak?
it in my headlines.
Because the guy screenshotted it and then put
he
it on TikTok.
screenshot it.
So he
Okay.
originally TikToked about being the
Burger King guy did.
Yeah, he
Okay.
TikToked it.
Also,
He should be working.
I should add that he has a GoFundMe that raised a lot of money from people who saw his story, aside from David Spade.
Yes.
That he's putting to his grandchild's college tuition.
Yeah, right.
No,
that's
my appointment was supposed to be at 11:30. I really fucked up. Anyway, so I can probably get on the last half hour. But I wanted to say that I wrote to Spade and I said, this is so cool. And he was like, yeah, that's why I do it, so it'll get out. And he was like, no, it's really cool because it's an amount of money that can change that person's life. Like $5,000 is a fuck ton of money. Not just, to anyone, but especially to someone who's a minimum wage. I don't want to say minimum. He's probably had a little bit of a raise in 27 years, but maybe not. But anyway, Spade wrote back and was like, we just got into this exchange about how much money he's given over. He's like, listen, he goes, you're right, because this feels so much better to give this because of all the clicks. No, but because it is actually, I see where it's going. I see how great it's making this guy's life, how appreciated it is, how he's like, I've donated this amount of money to the Red Cross for the hurricanes, this amount of money for the Red Cross for the earthquakes, this amount of money to, California firefighters for the fires, this amount, like, it was so much money. Like, I just have to say, he's one of the most generous celebrities I have ever heard of. He has never once told me about any of the stuff. There's no data about him donating all this. It's not, just for tax write-off purposes. He has donated so much, but he's right. Like, when I donate a big amount to somewhere, I'm like, this is probably just going to buy paper cups for their meeting that they're having about planning a party, like,
that's
for
how
their
people feel about the government.
Yes.
About giving taxes because they don't know where it's going, or they don't trust where it's going.
But if you could see where it goes specifically, and you get a little TikTok video being like, "Thank you for your money."
You see like a big check.
We now have a pothole. Like, you filled in this pothole.
Yes,
that would be fun.
Feel better.
But I really want to start doing that more often. Like, I pledge as a celebrity that gets paid more money than I probably deserve to be paid because I'm lucky. I want to start doing these tips, and I'm not going to do it and I'm not trying to say this. I just think that everyone can add an extra $5 tip sometimes if you can afford it. And even $5 on, I've said this before, when you're a waitress and you have someone's bought a $25 thing and you get $5 as the 20% tip, an extra $5, a 40% tip is enough to literally put a skip in your step and make you like, wow, I just got an extra table's worth of money and it's $5. So you have the ability, everyone has the ability to do this during the day. And if you don't have money, you could do it with compliments. And by the way, men need compliments is what I've learned being around a bunch of men lately. They need compliments. So Andrew, your facial hair is coming in great with your beard and your mustache. I really like the look.
Thank you.
I miss the mustache a little bit. But,
it's still here.
It'll come back.
It's still here.
You look handsome today. So I just need you to know that
Thank
you're a
you.
handsome guy.
Thank you.
We got to go. Instead of doing raps, we're going to sing songs. This is where I fucked up. This is where I went wrong. I was supposed to have a psychiatric meeting with my psychiatrist. I only go to him every couple of months or maybe every 9 months to get my medications back on track and to make him make some money so that he doesn't just keep writing me prescriptions and I'm sending prescriptions instead of prescriptions. So then I scheduled this meeting and I thought I'd go in person because I haven't seen him in a while, and I fucked it up because in my mind it's still a telehealth meeting, and they just wrote me and said you're supposed to be here at 11:30. It's now 12:05 and I still haven't been there and I'm not gonna come. And I wrote them, hey, can I wait 5 minutes? And they're like, what do you mean wait 5 minutes? It's been 35 minutes and you're supposed to be here and it's not telehealth, so everything is fucked and he's probably gonna put me on more meds.
I was thinking that it would end up working out for you.
Yeah, it's like, clearly you need to be on something else because you really fucked this up.
I got a good one. Okay. My girlfriend's car, it has a bad engine. She brought it to Firestone, 2,500 they quoted. So then we brought it to Hyundai, they said 950. Then I put on Instagram story. Will anyone do a brand deal? I know it's kind of weird to put that out there. And I just was kind of kidding, but I kind of threw a hook out there. And someone said, yes, I own Hyundai a little bit farther away from St. Louis. So I go, okay. And I talked to the guy. He really made it feel like I'd actually get a car for a year and have no charges and everything was great. But then I bring it in. Naive. And I bring the car in. They're charging me more money. They're charging
He's a new famous guy, and he thinks perks are all free, but there's always a prize. There's always a prize.
A prize.
There's always a prize to pay.
The best part is they go, we knocked it down for you. And I go, yeah, but you forgot about the 5 other things the last place said. So actually, it's not less, it's more. And they gave me 10% off.
How many times have I thought I was getting a deal and I spend so much more?
This reminds me if your mom goes to Mexico and she ends up spending $7,000 because
and she will because of all the resort fees and the travel. Okay, thank you guys so much for listening. If you do have any car deals that you can help Andrew out with,
come
please,
to Nashville, August 30th.
Do it out of the kindness of your heart. We're not trying to do any deals here, but
Yeah.
And August 30th, go to Nashville to
Zanies.
go see Zanies to go see Andrew and support him in his first headlining gig in quite some time. So that would be awesome if you guys all came to that and hung out and really had like a bestie crew to support your best friend Andrew.
Support your theater shows. You have a lot coming
and
up.
I have a lot of tour. And Good Clean Filth is coming out on HBO July 16th. F-Boy Island is going to be out July 14th. It's a big week that's coming up. Make sure to watch F-Boy Island season 2. Andrew also worked on it. His jokes are all over it, and you'll be able to pick out which ones.
Remember who won?
I know. And then and did anyone win? And then my special will be coming out on that Saturday. So make sure to check out the trailer. And if you could share it on your socials, that would mean so much to me to get people to watch it. And I love you guys so much. And Dobika and Jack Russell Terrier.